Okay, I think we should get going and we will start. Thank you all for coming this morning. This morning you have myself, Virginia Weiskopf, and my Google specialist, Jen Davis. David Marks couldn't make it this morning. He did put his stuff in here. I hope I can do it justice when I get to his slides. I was talking to Jen a few minutes ago when we were just waiting, and the fact that when I started to put this together, I didn't know how I was going to fit it in a half an hour. So there's going to be some stuff that I just gloss over, and I apologize, but I'm going to try to get all the information I can to you. So first, we're just going to look at what 2022 marketing trends to keep in mind. And if you take a minute to read these, and I'll leave it up here because I'm going to go through some of them, one or more of them apply to you. Before the pandemic, a lot of people would have said no to a lot of these, but now that our habits have changed and we do a lot more research on the web, some of us did a lot before, but those who did not rely on it more, a lot of percentages have gone up. So people would rather learn about a customer's product or service through a video rather than text. Video is king. Keep that in mind through all of this. 72% of people say they like personal email messages or personalized marketing messages, which comes down to email and you address it directly to them. 93% of people say they are influenced by online reviews. We all check reviews. We all take them with a grain of salt because you can control them, what everyone sees, but it does help you understand a product. You can really read the normal ones or tell which ones they are. 40% of people expect live chat on your website. I have positive and negative feelings about chat. I like chat if I can get to a person and ask them my question instead of staying on hold. I hate chat that's highly AI, so that it takes you through a series of questions and you're just in a big loop. That does nothing for me, and it actually puts me off. 93% of online experience begin with a search engine. So people seriously look on search engines for what they want, do their research, and then make a purchase. And 70% of people who see retargeted ads are more likely to convert on your website. So all of these play into how we are going to make our marketing plan. So planning marketing for next year. What's your goal? I want to get new customer and sales. Well, we have to take that out. That's way too general. So cross that one off. So my goals are to create a monthly or quarterly plan ahead of time. I didn't put that on there, but it is. I like to do 3 months because it's just as hard to do 1 month as it is to do the 3 month. And I'll show you how I do that. We want to think about how we're going to create those funnels. And we want to make sure we're using analytics to measure marketing efforts, that we look back what we did and if it worked. Then you need to know your platforms. Basically, you should have your website and you should have your email all set up to use. Which social media platform management you're going to use to send out to your channels, and which marketing channels you're going to use. Where are your customers? Those are your questions. Then we have to budget. How are we going to make our budget? Free versus paid, what that means in your time commitment, because free really isn't free because you have to put your time into it. And if our budget is going to be a percentage of sales or it's going to be a goal-based budget, we'll talk about that. How we're going to break up our spending, and then putting that plan together. So this is a lot of information you're going to get in 30 minutes. So we're going to start with our goals. And our goal is to have a plan. If we don't have a plan, then we just think it's an afterthought and think, oh, we have to do this, and it doesn't get done. We need to sit down and think about that plan. If it's easier for you to do monthly, fine. I like to do 3 months because it's just as hard to sit down and do that work. And then you're done for 3 months and set up a time to do it again for the next quarter. We want to make sure we know what our goal is for each ad and that we've designed a funnel to get it back to us. And when you define the analytics to measure those marketing efforts. With your content, you want to be heavy in video and digital assets and audio assets, because as our previous slide said, a large percentage of people would rather be shown about it than have to read something. Where to begin? So I want to make sure that all of you know that I'm answering questions throughout the slideshow. Please put them in the Q&A or the chat. Jen is monitoring that, and we'll do it at the time we're on a slide so we don't have to go back. So where do I begin? When we do advertising on any platform, we look at awareness campaigns, engagement campaigns, and conversion campaigns. You need to make people aware of your image and brand. Then you need to engage them, offering information to benefit the customer, solve a problem, and then you need to convert them. And that conversion is not necessarily a sale. That conversion can be watching a video, downloading a white paper, going to your portal to look at the shoes they want to buy. What is that conversion we're looking for? You know, what are you focusing on your content for those 3 months? And usually I like to do awareness, engagement, and conversion throughout the month. So I know I'm going to build awareness in January, engage them in February, and then try that conversion in March. So when you think about topics for each of these, when we're doing awareness, what are we telling them about? So if there's any important business dates to use, so like if you are a sporting goods store, business dates for you would be for spring items, summer items, fall items, and winter items. You need to look at those in your planning because that's what you're going to focus on. Awareness of holidays. Those of you who are large into retail sales, clearly you have holidays that promote sales. You want to use those. Are there major events going on you want to use? Let's say like the Olympics, that you can do some kind of advertising around that. And then any business topics that help build your brand or brand awareness. Those are the kind of things that you're putting into your awareness posts and ads during that first month. After that, then you're moving to engaging them. We're talking about our products and our services and how we're going to solve a problem, what we can do to solve that problem for you. And we're giving them free information because people like to try things for themselves. They can't always do it. Or you're showing them the difference between products, your products for other products, but you're engaging them either with a video or a white paper they can download or something to show how you can solve that problem. Then we move into conversion. And we have to make sure that when we put a conversion in that we have a measurable action. If we're sending people to a landing page we've created on a website, that needs to trigger in either Facebook or your Google ads to show people took that action. That landing page should have a specific action on it also when you're sending them there that they do. Whether it's sign up for a class, watch a video, download an asset, call now, whatever that is, you want to have a succinct call to action on that landing page so you're sending them there and getting them to follow through. So that was in terms of goals. So then we're moving on to platforms. This is a quick graphic and it doesn't have everything, but it has the major ones in here. Facebook having the most users, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok made the list this year. And I am not, I don't get addicted to any platform. I like Pinterest because of the creative part of it, but I don't spend that much time. TikTok, I'm addicted to. I could watch it for half an hour and not even realize time has gone by. But I'm not sure how that translates into advertising at this point. Because when I come on ads on TikToks, I just scroll by. Same thing has happened to Facebook in terms of our feed. 60% of our feed, I think, would be advertising now. I'd have to look at that, but you keep scrolling to look for our friends who have posted something as opposed to advertisers who have. So think about where you want to be, what your message is, and where your audience is. Over on the right, I put things that are basic things we should have. A pretty little globe on the top means our website. our blog, and don't think of a blog as something you have to write. A blog is an engine that you can put content on, that archives it, that you keep putting fresh content on your website about your products, your services, or what's going on. Email, you should always have email marketing because it is a direct one-to-one, and use it in your plan. And of course, down there is Google. Jen's picture is over Google right now. I'm moving you up to the corner. Who does my SEO? Google is always there. That has to be part of what you're doing if you want to push people back to your site. And keep in mind that Google owns YouTube. So if you're using YouTube, you're getting a double hit when you do it correctly and put your SEO on it. So decide which platforms your audience is, how you can reach them, and what your goals for those specific platforms are. Questions about platforms, Jen?
I don't see any, but everybody can use either the chat or the Q&A if you do have a question.
Okay, moving on to your budget. So there's a lot of information on this page here. So your budget can be a percentage of monthly revenue, or it can be goal-based, which fills a funnel. So if we look up at the top, our yearly spend is $1,000 or $10,000. Putting in projects for $3,000, and we're going to put a monthly spend of $500 on here. So when you look at your piece of the pie and what you're doing, where are you going to put that money each month? So if we break it down to $500, how much are you putting on pay-per-clicks? How much are you putting on social media ads? How much are you putting in development of the other pieces? Because you're going to have to either do them yourself in time or pay for someone to do them. So you need to decide where you're spending your money, and you don't have to spend $500 a month. You can do as little as $100 a month on Google pay-per-click ads and social media ads like on Facebook or Instagram. But keep in mind, that amount of dollar gets you X amount of impressions when we get to goal-based and X amount of clicks. So if that $100 isn't pushing your clicks to where they need to be, then you need to rethink that. And whatever you're putting your money on, you have to quantify by having analytics on it. So when I look at this pie, I'm looking at pay-per-click campaigns being the huge part of it, because that's really where our dollars are going. Email marketing here, once you've paid for the platform, it's the time in creating it. The email marketing piece is directly to someone you've already had contact with because you've got their email address. Social media ads, and the rest is content on the web that needs to be developed so you have a cohesive message across your platforms. So if you're doing a goal-based, and you know that you're paying $100, you're getting 2,100 impressions, you're getting 115 clicks each month. What are the number of clicks to convert? What are the number of impressions to get the number of clicks you need to convert? And then you have to figure out the number of clicks times the cost of a click, excuse me. So if it takes 300 clicks to get one conversion, then you need to up the amount you're spending on impressions to get those clicks. And that would be a goal-based search. Do you want to say anything on that, Jen?
The only thing I would say is, yes, you're right on the math, like a number of impressions and clicks. The other thing, in addition to upping your spend, is also paying attention to what you're actually, the keywords and things can be paused and stuff like that to save some dollars if they are not converting. But know that every impression, every click is not going to turn into a conversion. In most cases, most businesses are looking at a single-digit conversion rate.
I was just pulling numbers out of the sky, Jen. You know that, right?
Yes, I know.
Okay. So then if you want to come down to spending $5,000 a year, putting some money into projects, and only spend $300 a month, you could put $150 into pay-per-click and $150 into social media ads and see what you get from that and make adjustments as you go along. So you have to decide how you're going to do it and what amount of money you're going to spend before you start making that overarching marketing plan. So now we get to that big empty blank calendar in Q1, January, that we all stare at. So our marketing campaign is awareness this month, right? So for Weiss, I'm gonna have two campaigns. I'm gonna have about updating your website, because I think everyone needs to know that they really need to have a website that works for them. And I want to promote that and see what your old website looked like. If your website is more than 3 to 5 years old, it is a dinosaur. So we want to convey that, and that's the impression people get of you. It's like walking into the foyer of your house, and if it's a mess, they might want to step back outside. So we need to look at our website through the eyes of the consumer. And I'm going to promote that. And I'm going to have a website checklist, a website assessment, and a video. That's what I'm going to use for my campaign. I'm also starting to promote, hopefully in January, probably February, a new software service, new online software that I'm doing. I need to do the ease of benefits of the software, and I have to have videos and a landing page ready to go to do this. My platforms that I'm looking at, I don't know, I couldn't find a Google one that I liked best, because Google My Business, Jen, is changing their name again. So I just put the G up here for Google, which includes Google My Business and pay-per-click. LinkedIn, if you're a business to business, you should use. YouTube, my videos will house there and pull out. I will post on my blog and send people back to it via the email. So then when I look at those, what am I going to do? Facebook is going to have 1 to 2 social posts a week. LinkedIn is going to have 1 social post a week, and I'm going to be in a couple groups. Google My Business is going to have 1 to 2 posts a week. Those are the social pieces that I'm putting out. In addition to that, we're going to spend $500 total on ads. So we're going to break that up between Facebook and Google. And then I'm going to put content on my blogs and email marketing out to push people back to it. So this is our awareness campaign that's going to happen in January. Once I have all this down, then I can start filling in each one of these things ahead of time. I think I put on here to use a management software, and I don't know if I made a plan for that, but this is where, if you're using Hootsuite or Mav Social, or even the Constant Contact calendar, that you can have your whole marketing calendar in one place, schedule things out ahead of time, then you're done for the month. It's a very good way to make marketing work for you. So we'll move on to some examples from Facebook. So these are examples that David put in on what he would do. So we would, if we're promoting what is a good website, we would promote what is a landing page. And we would tell them about what a good landing page does for them. And then we would post this about, not just, because I have more than one topic that I have or service that I have in my business, I would ask them about increasing in productivity and what you've done for your new computers, because computers have changed drastically. There are people still who are probably on Win 7, and I bet there's a few on one of the previous platforms, and it's really time to move forward with putting things on. So you want to put out image ads or that make people are aware of what you do and how you do it. Well, it's a Jen slide.
Yeah, and we do have a question. So
okay, I should go back. I'll go back.
Actually, I don't think you have to. The question is, which tool is better with minimum use cost for integrated marketing?
So if you're just starting, and I don't know what platform you use, if you have email marketing on Constant Contact, I would start with their scheduling calendar. Get used to scheduling. You can do your emails, you can do your social media, and put it all on there and push it out. Very easy tool to start with. But if you're a little more serious, you can use the Hootsuite platform, free. The problem with the Hootsuite platform is that when you use the free version, it says posted by Hootsuite. I don't particularly like that. I want them to know it's posted by me, or you can pay for that. And then there's Mav Social. Between Mav Social and Hootsuite, I think we prefer Mav Social. But there's a lot of them out there. You just need to start using it and feel comfortable with it, because you can get it all done for the whole month or even 2 months and then you've done your work and you can work on your business instead of your marketing. Hopefully that was good for you.
So, yes, and that was, thank you. Okay, so going with awareness, I did a couple different things here, but for awareness, we might focus on getting somebody over to the blog to read, how we are experts, for instance. So in addition to, just not only the website, but what's happening in digital marketing, what's happening e-commerce wise, what's happening in just overall marketing and website marketing, for instance. So some, the ads might talk about the trends for 2022, see what we'll do in the new year, for instance. Our keywords might be, things like digital marketing trends in 2022. And then, maybe taking them to a blog post that talks, this case was an old one that we actually had that we did last year as an example, but 6 best practices in email marketing in 2021. Obviously, we could update that for 2022 and use that for just overall awareness of what we do, how we do it, and how we're experts.
Thank you, Jen. So then we move on to the next month where we're going to engage them. Now they're aware of who we are. So it's the same topics over here on the right under the 2 campaigns. That didn't change. And it's the same thing in terms of how many times we're going to post a week, where we're going to do it, for how much money we're going to put in the ads. And we may look at our analytics and tweak our pay-per-click ads, or now that we're into engagement, maybe we want to put a lead form on that gets them to download a checklist, or get a website assessment of their website so that they're requesting something and that we're starting to interact. That's kind of turning toward a conversion, but it's still engaging with them. And we want to make sure that we have blog posts that are current. Like Jen said, we have the one from last year, but we can certainly update it and push to it. And that we're doing at least 1 email and 1 blog post per month is what my goal is. I don't try to overwhelm myself. It's too much. Sometimes we do 2 emails a month, which would be my goal. One that's in the beginning of the ones, and then ones that's the week of we have our webinars to remind people that we have it. But now we're engaging them. So, and we're using the same platforms. So when it comes to engagement, now we're pushing them even harder to places that we own. So we're going to push them on this one right back to our blog. There's an article on privacy and how important it is to you. And it's getting more and more important to everyone, because why? Those guys are sitting in their closets hacking us all the time, sadly enough. They're getting smarter and smarter. And then the other one is what we can do in IT, and sending them to learn more. So then we're going to send them to a landing page that tells them about what we can do to help them with their technology. So we're amping up awareness and getting them to interact with us a little more.
Yeah, and same thing here, talking about what the problem is, website not converting, the opportunity to make business better in 2022, giving them, taking them to the website checklist to see, so that they can do a little bit of their own assessments. And here we're, and for example, looking for specifically, people are looking for either web design, web development, a combination of the 2, or maybe what we call conversion optimization. Take the existing website, make some minor changes to it, not a total refresh, but now a little bit more direct, but also giving them kind of a free tool to see potentially how they are stacking up against the rest of the World Wide Web.
And then we move to conversion. Okay, now we really want them, take that action. We want to use our social posts, our ads, our blog posts, and email marketing to push them to actually say, yes, I want to do a website assessment and I'd like to meet you for 30 minutes. Yes, I would like to test your new software. We want to, in this conversion, after we've talked about it for a while, get them to take that act so that we can capture their email, so that we can actually have a conversation with them. That's what we're really trying to do in the conversion piece. We are pushing them to make that conversion more actively than passively in the one before. So here, when we look at what we're doing on Facebook, we are telling them we will do a free digital assessment, which we do, everyone knows that. And all they have to do is sign up for it. During this, we are getting their name, their email, and their phone number sometimes. And this is a lead form so that they can immediately fill it out and that we can then reach out back to them. We want to definitely convert them, their conversion ads.
And then, yeah, exactly. Same thing here. I went specifically a little bit more on Google Ads audits, for instance, hire Google Ads experts, making it very specific, but still offering them the free digital assessment. And again, people looking for a digital agency, a digital marketing agency, it could also be a social agency. All those types of things kind of go into that digital assessment. So there's a lot to potentially run on here, but as Virginia said, really driving them to the actual let's have a conversation mode.
So I stopped there because there was so much more, and I thought we gave a lot of information, and we have a little bit of time here for questions that I would love to answer if anyone has any.
Yeah, again, you can use the chat or feel free to use the Q&A portion as well in your Zoom bar.
Yeah, marketing is hard. You need to know what you want to do and then push it out to what you're doing. I'm just going to talk to fill up airspace while people are typing in their questions. But it's sitting down and doing the work. And like I said, it's easier to do it for a quarter and get it all done than it is to do 1 month, because that month is up. It's so quick that you're doing it too much. It doesn't mean you don't talk about it and make tweaks along the way, but it's easier to do 3 months and then get everything set up, spend an entire day or 2 mornings, maybe 3 mornings getting it all done, and then you don't have to think about it anymore until you start looking at how it's trending. What are your Facebook statistics? What are your Google Analytics statistics? What are your pay-per-click statistics? Do I see a question?
Yes, we do have a question. The question is, what's the KPI for conversion? Do you want to start, or do you want me to?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so it really will depend on your industry, your business, but also what you're spending and what your capacity is, for instance. So if you're the type of business that, if you get 10 leads in and you sign one of them, you're set for the year, you're set for the month. That's really what you have to focus in on. It's not about what everybody else is doing. Google doesn't actually provide, from either a search perspective or an ads perspective, a number you should hit. And the reason why they don't is because, one, there's a lot of people doing a lot of bad stuff and a lot of good stuff. And so, people use Google Ads and search for very different reasons, not necessarily lead gen or conversions or those types of things. So there's really no magic number. But what I would say is most businesses are going to be in a single digit conversion rate. And what you have to do is try and see what works and then build on that and get it as high as you can just by testing and trying. There is no real magic number.
So I want to step back and make sure everyone knows what a KPI is, and it's a key performance indicator. So you're the one who sets those. If the thing you want to do is push traffic to your website, if that's what you're doing in awareness to get them to go to that landing page, that's going to be a key indicator. If it's to download a white paper, that's a key. So if you're choosing what that key performance indicator or indicators, plural, and then you're watching it. So you have to make that decision. And that's what Jen means, that there's so much out there, because it's really a wide variety of things. What my key performance indicator is not necessarily yours. Perhaps one of my key performance indicators is how many people sign up for my webinars. Am I getting people to come learn from me? Is it worth doing every month? That is separate from everything else. So I will want to know where I get them from, where those signups are coming from, where I'm promoting it. So it's different for everybody.
And somebody did just ask for the link to the digital assessment. I put that in the chat, and then we do have another question. And the question is, any tips for A/B testing in setting up marketing campaigns? I
You're
can
gonna
answer
fly
this.
that? Okay.
Yeah. A little bit different than how it used to be, particularly with Google Ads. Google Ads is now, a lot of A/B testing is done with ad copy, for instance. Google's now using responsive ads, so you can put into 15 headlines, 4 descriptions, and it serves the best for that user for that search. So there's not as much A/B testing from an ad copy perspective anymore, but there's a lot of other A/B testing that you can do, whether that's automated bid strategies, manual bid strategies, even different keywords, locations, and all of that. The nice thing is that Google Ads actually makes this easy. It has a feature called experiments. So what you can do is you can create one campaign, and then you create a duplicate of it with the tool called experiments, and make changes that are relevant that you want to test out. Maybe again, it's a different, maybe you want to expand your targeting, your geo targeting, for instance, and you'll run those side by each other. And what I always suggest is that you're looking for probably, depending on the industry, but you're probably looking anywhere from 50 to 100 clicks on both campaigns in order to get statistically significant feedback as to what is working best. The other thing is simply, not even doing an A/B testing, but you can always make changes. The nice thing about Google or Bing or any type of advertising is you're not committed to it. It's not like magazine print ads where, you make the buy months ahead and you're stuck with it, whether you want it or not at that time. Google, Bing, even social media, you can turn off, you can change pretty quickly. So that's the other thing. If you don't have the time for A/B testing, you can always just try things and then turn them off or continue expanding them as they're working.
Yeah, A/B testing is promoted a lot. There's a lot of it that's promoted in like email marketing, and that's a little different. And it's different, but it's the same. Like Jen says, you can go in and change the content of the ad on the fly. And Google also lets you put in 4 ads at a time, pushes them out and see which one gets the right, and pushes that one all the time. For you, if you're doing it in email marketing, you need to look to see what headlines you're using and what are people responding to. And you have a tool to say what the percentage is of emails you want to send to each of the different, subject lines that you put out. I think you need to get, as Jen was saying, you need a good sample before you can make A/B testing work for you. If your email list is only 150, that's a tough sell in A/B testing. So you have to look at what you're getting in return. If that A/B testing is worth doing, you might want to grow your audience before that happens.
Okay, and at least we're caught up on questions now. But if anybody has
Okay, you all know you can email us for questions. We're always available to respond to those. My email is here. This will be up on Monday on our YouTube channel. So if you want to go back and look at it again and see what it is, again, this was a very quick high overview. And I hope that gets you started for next year's marketing, and at least to get something on, make a decision, do a whole month and see where you are and see if you get the response that you want. I want to thank you again so much for joining us this morning. I appreciate your time and I hope it's valuable to you. Thanks, Jen, for all of your help.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And we will see you all again in the new year.
Bye, guys.
Bye.